Right now. Hi, everyone. Here we are on our October group call. So wonderful to be here with all of you. Thanks for being here today. I can't wait to see what's happening, what's new, what's expanding, what's being planned. It's a very interesting time here in Colorado. We were all over the TV because on Wednesday we were basically summer weather at 85 degrees, and then the next day it snowed, and we had several inches of snow, and now we're back to warm. So it's a little crazy wild weather, but we are moving into fall here, and I know you guys in Australia are moving more into your summertime. So here we go. Except, yeah, you've got a sweater on, Danielle. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's unseasonally cold here at the moment.
Interesting. Well, yeah, just feeling that transition of the October is always a very interesting month of transition. So I'm wondering what's transitioning in all of our worlds. And yeah, thanks for being here. So does anybody have anything to start the call off with? You know, we can always go wherever you want to go, but this call is about all of us and talking about what is foremost on our minds and hearts. So who would like to bring something forward? What's been going on? Somebody's driving. All right. Or near cars. Great to have you with us, Susan.
Oh. That was me with the cars.
Yeah.
I thought I was muted.
So how are things going for you, Susan? We always love to hear the updates of your world. How have things been flowing in the world of Susan?
Thanks for asking. It's I don't know, it's interesting. Things feel like they're shifting, but in the reality of it, right now they're sort of shifting slowly. How's that?
Yeah, that's good. At least they're shifting, right? And it is interesting when we talk about divine timing. It's like, okay, so things are divine timing, and then our perception of fast, slow, and of course everything being on track, but us just trying to we have our perceptions about how things move. And I know sometimes for me, it's like, okay, I understand there's divine timing, but this one seems to be going a little slower than what I would call my divine timing, right?
a little crankier, yeah. And I've always believed in divine timing, so it's not anything different from where I've always been in the longer view of the world. Yeah.
Awesome. Have you been able to have more peace and resolution with some of your coworkers that were giving you some hassle before?
Well, they all seem to give hassle. Make no sense. They all seem to not do their jobs, and so I don't. That was actually the question of the week. If I had a question for the week in my mind, that would have been the question for the week.
Is related to the relationships at work?
Well, this is relationships in the world. How people don't do what they say they're going to do, or how things get all muddled up, or people just don't follow through, or those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And don't quite tell the truth, and you have expectations different than what the word expectations. I know not to believe in expectations.
Yeah.
And maybe I still do, because that's what I just said.
It's a tough one, and I'm curious what other people's experiences are in this realm too. But some of the conversations I've had with Rika about, I just, I don't think I can trust that person, or I can just feel like I don't trust that person, right, because of past behavior. And Rika said, no, actually, you can totally trust them to be who they are, right? You can trust them to be who they are, and that the stuff that is untrustworthy, so to speak, is not who they are in their essence, but their behavior pattern. You can trust it to have a pattern until it doesn't, right? So to me, it's always a combination of how do we always let somebody show up new and not hold them to the past, but also trust that people are going to be who they are. And if in the past they've shown certain aspects of themselves to you, then we don't let ourselves get expectations that are inaccurate in play, right? But it's a tough one. I know it's a total tough one because, you know, any sort of expectation ultimately can lead to disappointment, and expectation has judgment in it, and a lot of times. And yet when somebody says they're going to do something and they don't do that, it's hard. I get that. So yeah, it's one of those things that we definitely all have to navigate through at one point or another. Does anybody have any other anything else? Yeah, Leanne.
Just to add to that, when you asked if any of us have that experience, I would say yes.
Yes.
And it's happening with my partner, and I'm having I've actually been suffering really deeply because I have expectations and hoping things will be different, and when they say they'll do something, they don't, and then I feel so devastated by that, and I keep thinking, when will that change? So I am suffering from that particular energy right now. Well, at least my ego is, and and so I'm glad you brought it up, just to maybe put some space into what I've been experiencing. Or I just want to share. Yes, I know that it's about letting go of that expectation and all the judgment that's inside it, like you said. I'm still feeling into the truth. I know I'm being served. So what's being shown to me through this challenging time that I'm having with that aspect, that energy. So yeah, I'm still feeling into it.
That's beautiful how you just said it, though, you know, that you know you're being served, and what's being revealed to you, how is it moving you forward in your own evolution. And I love that then you can receive the gift from what's seemingly challenging people. They actually then become those angels in your life that are bringing you to your next evolution, and they're actually acting a certain way so that you can let go of these things, so that you can, you know, have even more of you and even be more whole and complete. And, you know, one of the toughest things is to really, truly be happy and at peace within oneself, regardless of anything in the external world, right? Like that really is one of the main challenges, is like, regardless of what other people are doing, what finances are doing, what the world is doing, what politics are doing, that it's not a facade, that it's truly within ourselves. We know that it's all being served. I mean, and that's like a huge challenge, I think, to, you know, to be aware, beings that are super aware and know, hey, God's got it, right? I'm here, I'm standing with God, God's got it, and I can trust that. It doesn't mean I don't take action, I don't have conversation, I don't, you know, move forward with things that work for me. It doesn't mean I put up with behaviors that don't work for me, you know, all of that, of course, right? But to truly find that inner peace, that sanctuary where it's like nothing that anybody does or doesn't do can actually phase that love that you are, and that your experience of that love that you are, right? So it's a great conversation, both Susan and Leanne. I appreciate you bringing it up, and I'm wondering what other sort of ways that everybody else interacts with that. Is it bringing up more for you, Leanne? I see you shaking your head.
Oh no, just appreciating what you just said. Thank you.
Yeah, right, because especially when somebody says they're going to do something and then they don't, right? And that can be small or large. The thing is it's like, so what is it within them and their interaction with you? You know, does it really have anything to do with you, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? And yet we take it as though it does have to do with us, you know, and that's part of where we then become victim to what everybody else is doing, and that is not fair to our own hearts, right? Because then our own happiness is dependent on how other people show up. And yet in relationship in this world, we do want to have relationships where we can be honest and we can say what we're going to do and have somebody say what they're going to do, and have that fulfill, right? And be able to move forward with that. So I think it's a great inquiry, and I appreciate us kind of looking at it. Does anybody else have any thoughts or feelings around that? I see Janet. Yeah, Janet. Awesome. You raised your hand. Woohoo. Please chime in.
This was a meditation that I did today with Deepak.
Oh, nice.
And I just took a few notes. It was like transcending the ego to get to your true self.
Cool.
And then he said that to see the other person as a soul, probably rather than an ego, which they're acting like. And he mentioned joy, peace, and acceptance no matter what's happening on the surface. And he said that that's sort of like a mother's love, which that was kind of comforting to me because I think I got a lot of mother in me. And also detachment, and that's a real skill. You know, that's like in the 12-step programs, that's a major thing. And he said that the rewards of being able to do the detachment is, are you still there? Is awareness and feeling centered and safe without being lost or suffocated. And there's objectivity and stability versus being dependent and dominant. And I sometimes think that there's something in me that, is sort of programmed to be dependent. And so I get really upset when I think something ought to happen to take care of me and it doesn't happen. And I struggle with my anger with that one. So anyway, it's being able to detach is to kind of sit back and then you have to kind of let all that stuff come up and out. And I've been really struggling with being angry about money. And not knowing what to do with it. So I journaled it and said everything that I would never say out loud, and went outside and burned it, and just trying to figure out how do I release this when I feel like I've been lied to or betrayed in some way. So there was most of my life I didn't even feel angry. So it's not a real fun thing for me when I feel like I've been lied to. So I guess that's about all I know. But detachment, if you can ever get there and not take it personally, it's wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. What a fortuitous synchronicity that Deepak was talking about this today, and you took notes for us. Thank you for sharing all that, because there's a parallel wisdom here, right? And bringing forward the aspect of detachment, especially when we're talking about expectations of people's behaviors, and the detachment of is actually a gift to ourselves. It doesn't have anything to do with them. It makes our lives easier and more peaceful. And, Janet, I think it's actually an amazing sign that you are allowing yourself to feel the anger when somebody lies to you, rather than not feel anger or to just be flat. That it's actually a great sign that you're willing to let things come up and out, right? And that you're not willing to just accept people treating you in a way that doesn't work for you. And, so there's nothing wrong with actually feeling that anger. And I love the idea that you wrote the letter to burn it, to let it out. It's like, how do we keep letting this out? That again has to do with our own process and ultimately nothing to do with the other person. It's like, okay, so this person could show up in so many different faces, right? And yet we're letting it go for us. And I love that. And like that's really brilliant to let that out. Yeah.
And it probably really wasn't with the lie I was told, but it brought up hearing that same lie in the past too, which, it pushes buttons, and it's, it's stuff, even if it doesn't have directly to do with the person lying to you,
Yeah. Well, it really is good to make that distinction. And I love that some of us have said, so it's their ego, it's not actually who they are. So if we're making the distinction of, okay, so I'm feeling hurt or betrayed by this person, but actually that person is not even that person, right? That person is the spirit that they are, the soul that they are, like Deepak was saying, right? So that divine being, you can interact in that divine being interaction, but where we have the pain is where it's ego interacting with ego, right? And so the frustration is not even with the person as a being, it's the frustration with the ego. And so when we're saying, look, this is not even who they are, I can let that go, it's just what the ego is showing up. So it's more of us letting go of the illusion so that the ego doesn't have this stranglehold on any of us anymore, right? So it's calling it out for what it is, that it's not even that person, it's them being a slave to their own ego, right? And we can actually have compassion for that because we have tools to, number one, identify it, number two, not let our own ego do that to us, and number three, potentially help facilitate other people out of their ego so that it doesn't have to rule them, if they're open to that, and that's the appropriate next step. So we're a couple steps ahead of the game, which we can celebrate, right? We can be grateful for that we have that potential for freedom if we continue to give it to ourselves. And it's nobody else that can give it to us in any of their behaviors. It's our own processing, right? And that's what I commend all of you that are working with that in the face of other people's behaviors. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and also I was thinking, well, what can I do with this angry energy, And so maybe I'll just be angry at the fact that there's debt and I don't want it anymore, and I can just be angry enough to not charge and just say, okay, God, if this is something you want me to do, then I guess it'll work out. But I can, try to channel some of that energy in a way where I won't be dependent on other people. Or, as much as I, maybe have been in my life that didn't work. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I remember one time I quit a job at the prison, and I decided I was so angry that I hung up my sign, hung up my shingle, and did some counseling in my home, because I figured, well, I just can't abide by all those rules or put my life in danger. So I used my anger in that way, and it was fun. I had a really nice little sign made and stuff, so stationery and everything. So I guess that's all I have on that.
Well, I mean, that's beautiful, because again, there was that transformation of anger into positive action for your life, right? And so how do we, even with money, so it's interesting, because when you were talking, I was realizing the parallel of how we're not actually mad with the person as a divine being. We're frustrated with the ego structure, the illusion that's not even real. And then I had this aha moment that was more of a visceral aha moment one time when we were doing a money section in class with Rika, where it's really, I had this pure experience of money as a divine being, right? Like you would say the equivalent of like a person's divine being. It was money, the collective idea of money as a divine being, and the purity of that, and the beingness of that is actually here to facilitate so many things on earth for so many people, right? Because no matter who you are, it's a facilitator for you in this lifetime in one way or another. Like, it's actually very powerful in that way as a facilitator. And yet all of the things that we're frustrated about, or the things that are hurtful, or the things that, all of that is almost like the equivalent of the ego structure of money, or the projection of egos on money, right? So when we get down to the pure energy of it, it's actually something beautiful to receive and behold, because it's like experiencing the support of the universe, the support of God, the support of angels. It's like, to me, it was that same feeling. I was like, oh, and yet it's so overladen with all this other stuff on this planet. And yet that's not the essence of who it is either, right? To personify it a bit. And so, if you can get through okay, so it's not even money's fault, right? To change your relationship with money and the idea of money, then even that can be a new freedom for you to realize I'm not even mad at money or at the financial structure and all that. It's actually, it's the ego version of that, the illusion version of that you're working to release in your life. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
What is that wonderful noise?
Some background noise we got going on. I don't know. We'll see if we can figure out. There
It's
we
not me
go.
this time.
Those beautiful trees where you are, Susan. So pretty.
I'm walking away from the road.
Oh, gorgeous. So you got some fall colors there. That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, so what else is this bringing up, you guys? What else? Like, it's interesting how it all starts to weave together, right? We've got expectations of others and egos and disappointments, and then money gets in there, and then, woo! Yeah.
It goes back to where I still think I can help the other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I still have attention on that, where I haven't totally released it.
Mm.
And even though I have done a lot of that, but that's, I think, what is still showing up in situations like, oh, if they had only done this, I would have done it differently. And then, and then, and then, dot, dot, dot.
And then dot, dot, dot. Exactly. Well, and the truth is you would have done it differently, but their experience and their lesson, so to speak, from the things that they're choosing is not yours to receive, it's theirs to receive, right? And so ultimately, how can we judge anybody's choices if in fact what they receive from those choices is exactly their next perfect step, that is their relationship with God, right? So who am I to say, hey, this person shouldn't have done that or should have done that, if it was absolutely perfect on their divine path for them, right? And then it just comes back to the importance of my own choosing. And am I choosing from Source's infinite menu? And am I choosing for me? We emphasized that on VIB just a couple days ago, right? What is choosing for me? And the more that I choose for me, the more love, safe, protected, all that stuff that Rika was mentioning, because it's not that you're not serving the whole in that, it's that you're serving the whole by serving yourself. Really, you're still serving yourself as God. And so we talk about the ripple effects. That has a huge ripple effect to all those other people that you were thinking you could help. That's the way that you actually help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rika said the other day about she went to this conference and there were all these people and she felt no connection to anybody's stuff. That sounded so beautiful.
Yeah.
There's great joy in minding your own business.
Well, and I will say, Susan, that Rika was celebrating that for herself because that has been a practice for her. She didn't just stumble upon that. That has actually been a struggle for her for, her whole life, to be in a room of people and actually be connected to all of their stuff. And so she's been practicing and practicing and practicing and cutting cords and letting go and being with her and being with God and being in her own energy like that. I'm not saying it can't be instant, but it also can take practice, if that makes sense.
I guess I was asking what the practice is, cutting cords. What else would you recommend in a situation like that?
Well, certainly cutting cords, certainly just, again, it's like anything that's not me, leave. And it doesn't even have to come out in words, right? It's just more like that energetic sensation of I'm here in my own energy field. I'm here with me. And all of my awareness is not me, right? It's the same tools that we use in class. It's like, did I choose that? No, then that's not me. That's not mine. What do I choose? What do I choose? And it's this process of continually choosing. And it's not a mental process, but it's like, okay, I'm choosing the joy and being here with me right now. And then if anything else comes in, the thoughts, the feeling states from another being, it's like a recognition of, oh, that's not even mine. I can just let it float by like a cloud. That's not even mine, right? So that's how you don't connect to it. And then kind of the next layer is that, oh, that one was a little sticky or whatever. I'm going to consciously cut that cord, or consciously let the angels take it, consciously let it go. And you know, and these are a lot of words to explain what can be a very quick, just energetic tapping in, right? Like just I'm here with me. And just knowing that anything you're aware of is not who you are, right? So especially in a big group of people, you could be aware of a lot of things, but none of it's who you are. Yeah.
Good. Well put together.
Yeah.
You emphasized that very well. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for taking us on your walk with you, Susan. It's so beautiful to see. And I appreciate the conversation you started, because it is amazing how all of these things are connected in the way that we interact with people and with our awarenesses, and how we have that inner peace within ourselves and not let it take us off our center, so to speak, however people show up or betray us or lie or any of that. So yeah, how's that feeling for you, Leanne? Any other new insights coming up?
I'm just writing that down because it just as a reminder, because after Shasta, I did that a lot. Did I choose this? That's not mine. And it was so freeing. I felt so much more energetically alive and
Cool.
more energy. And I've been forgetting to do that lately. So now I'm remembering again. So thank you, because I am I'm like a super intuitive, where I struggle with that a lot. And in Shasta, one day when it finally physically hit me that everything that I'd experienced as a child, like just the misery I had as a child, it was because I thought my dad's stuff was mine, my mom's stuff was mine, my sisters, my brothers, my grandmothers, my grandfathers, my aunts, my uncles. Like it just hit me, and it just went poof. And you can ask Peter, because I kind of stumbled to the back of the room that day, and he's like, you better sit down. And he looked into my eyes and he was like, girl, you're not here right now. Like something has shifted. He's like, your eyes are dilated. And it was just crazy. So it really, I've just felt that visceral, like, no, this was never mine, ever. So
Wow.
It's like the impact it can have on you to really be to really stick with that practice of cutting the cords, constantly asking, is this mine? Did I choose that thought or that feeling? No. And then to choose something is incredibly powerful. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. Thank you for mentioning this again. This is so great, because I'd lost a little bit of, lost my way.
That's okay. I mean, we do need to sometimes remind ourselves, if it's not automatic, and it's like that's why we practice, right? Why we remind each other. And that's amazing. Thank you for sharing. I hadn't heard the entirety of that story of what happened in Shasta for you, but that's, to let go of all of that all in one fell swoop, what a gift. And yeah, it makes sense that you would have had a very big physical experience with that. And, I'm sure the implications of that are still kind of ruffling their way through your system, right? I mean, how could it not? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I drove to see my parents a week after that. And was there for 3 days, and I felt so amazing. And my dad asked me something. I started calling him by his name and not dad. Something shifted in me, and I don't think he was very happy about that. But not from well, anyways, we won't get into that. But he just said something to me, and I said, you know why it happens? He's like, how? I'm like, because I'm happy. He was like, oh, that can't be right, or something like that, or just like total disbelief. But we only got into a fight once, which I consider really amazing. He told me to shut up out of the blue, and I'm just not, for me it was, nope, you don't get to talk to me like that anymore. Nope, not happening. So it was actually the most embodied response where I was angry. I expressed anger in a very embodied way with my father. That was probably the first time in my life, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, no, you can't talk to me like that. It's like, I can do whatever I want. I'm like, actually, no, you can't. And it just became so clear that it's okay for me to express anger in a way that embodies my truth. And where I didn't leave my body. So I didn't say things like name calling or you're so fucked up or why are you always fucking with everyone's lives? Like there was never that kind of like disembodied kind of raging against him kind of. It was just no, you can't. That's not a kind thing to say, and I'm not going to receive that from you anymore. So that was a big piece. So I kind of judged myself a little bit because I'm like, there it is again. And then I saw the whole pattern. My mom's like, no, don't say anything. And I'm like, okay, this happened to me my whole life. My mom was a facilitator for letting us get abused and not doing anything because she didn't want to rock our boat, or not letting us stand up for ourselves because she didn't want to make the situation worse. And it's just, I saw it all just like, almost like seeing plates in the air, you know, and just being able to see it all and see all the pieces and be so embodied during that whole thing and not hating my mom for it and saying, you fucking bitch, like, fuck. Like putting up with that for 20 some, to this day, you know, my mom, I'm like, Mom, I need to let you know that I needed to say that. It needs to be said. But I cannot, you know, I just can't not say anything. So I'm sorry that you know, if you want to avoid, it's something I will not do. I won't be abused for the sake of avoiding pain. I don't know if that makes sense. You know, like she doesn't want to rock any boats or make anything worse, but then how are you going to live that way for the rest of your life? You know, it just.
Well, you are not going to, and that's incredible. Oh my God, Leanne, yay.
Yeah, so I'm proud of you guys, and I love you, and thank you for.
We are celebrating you. I mean,
That's amazing.
I know it's sometimes hard to reflect in oneself how huge. It's like, whoa, next huge expansion in Leanne's world. Check that off the list, right? And yet you had a little judgment about how it went down or whatever. But that's tremendous, you know, step into total freedom. Tremendous step. And you know, that you had that experience in Shasta, and then you set up the perfect test for it to go see your parents afterwards, you know, like that's fabulous. How fabulous is that?
Yeah, I had to go get my things. They've been sitting in their basement for a long time. So energetically, it was about me moving on, removing my things, and, you know, bringing it back to the US from Canada. It was just like, oh wow, my belongings are all in one spot now, and this is my home, even though Canada is my home. But it's a really interesting path that I'm on right now. It's just really incredible. So unbelievable, right?
And yet totally believable. This amazing path that you're on is the one that you've chosen, and we just get to marvel and watch every beautiful step that you take, and the wisdom that comes across in every new moment like this that you share with us, that then expands our path. So thank you for sharing that, and just keep going. I mean, really, it's beautiful that those pieces are coming together. And I love even the metaphor of all of your stuff that you now, you know, that's a beautiful metaphor. Yay.
Yeah. Thank you for asking. I didn't expect to share that at all.
Oh, how could you not? It's awesome. Really, really awesome. Yeah. Yeah, and it shows too that regardless of whether our parents will ever, I mean, for lack of a better word, will ever get it or whatever, you're doing what you need to for you, and that freedom is for you. And so, you know, you may not be able to save your mom, or, you know, like that whole thing. It's like that, and being okay with that is exactly what we're talking about today, to have that inner peace and happiness for ourselves, regardless of the external beautiful people in our world.
Yeah, I've cried, trust me, I've cried a lot about that one.
Aw.
About her not being able to choose to leave, or
Yeah.
she just won't. So yeah, I love her. I love her so much.
Yeah. Yeah. And that counts for a lot, having that beautiful unconditional love from you. You never know what that will inspire in her world. So
Yeah.
just keep doing that. Yeah. Awesome. This is awesome. I see we've got some things in the chat going on here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We got people cheering you, Tony Ann and Heather cheering you, Leanne. That's beautiful. Yay. Yay. So what else is this bringing up, you guys? What other conversations shall we have today?
Hey, I just wanted to add into that. Hi.
Hi, Trissa.
Hi. So what's been super working for me, and I think this is really the point of our work with Rika, right? Like staying in that absolute love. Like, you know, last Wednesday it was being our divine self, but bottom line, it's just being in that complete source alignment. And so whether it's like relationships, right, with the kids or with Andrew or with anything else, when that's just really like, if I remember that, hey, like, I don't care about anything else. I don't care about your mood or your ego right now or what's coming up. I just want to be here. I'm choosing source of, you know, and it's so cool. It's super cool how when you're so aligned, that's Chachi. Chachi, what do you want? You want to be in the call? So that, you know, I mean, like just Chachi, like I remember like just the other day, I was choosing. I was just so high. I was such in bliss, like, oh my gosh, I'm just so happy. And for no reason. And I go out and Chachi pooped in my office. And like usually that gets me so like automatically like so mad and frustrated. And I was trying to be mad actually, like Chachi, but like I couldn't get there. Like it felt so weird to be mad at Chachi because I was just so happy. I was like in that zone. And so yeah, I mean, I think that is super powerful. Like even with Andrew, I had this conversation yesterday after the VIB. I'm like, honey, oh my God, the VIB was so amazing. You know, I just realized like I've been doing everything to please you. Like I do stuff just to get your acknowledgement one day to say that, oh, finally you're worthy or something, you know? And then, so basically I said like, you know what, from now on, I don't care what you say. And I felt his ego. Like, really,
Oh my
he
God.
was like, oh, trying to be present. But I was like, oh, like feeling like, and I was like, honey, it's okay. You know, I don't, you know, whatever your ego says. And I just stayed there. And me staying, and the cool thing is he knows the work. So I was able to like, hey,
Yes.
I'm feeling you. Like, you're like,
Exactly.
and I just said, just come with me. Just be in my joy. Then I finally, you know, just staying there, felt him open. I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, that super helped just staying in that zone. And I know it's easy to get like once we started again going into the grind of things, right? And then again, just remembering, okay, I don't care. I just, you know, I don't care if we're going to be late. for school today, driving the kids. I just want to be here because I was starting to feel anxiety because the traffic was building up.
Yeah.
Then I don't care. I just want to be in love. And then suddenly it opens up, and then like we were so early. So.
Oh my gosh. Wow, Trista, all of those examples you just gave are so perfect because it's like, there you are in the moment, in that moment of choice. Okay, Chachi pooped in my office again, and yet, what do I choose? Okay, we're going to be late. I can feel that anxiety. No, you let go of that, and then you were early. Like that is living a magical life. That's truly having that life of magic and choosing and seeing it show up, and that you don't have to ever let go of that feeling of peace and happiness and bliss. You know, that you don't have to go into those gripping tensions of anxiety or stress or whatever, that it is actually a choice. And what a great example of daily life things. And I appreciate that you said, well, good thing Andrew knows the word, because we may not just say to somebody, well, I no longer care what you think. You know, that I know he can take it though, and I love that you brought him into the wisdom of that, into the joy of that. You know, like that's awesome. You guys have that relationship and you can share that. That's so cool. Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. And it's just such an amazing, like, to me, the VIB was huge because it's like, wow, everything, right? Like us, like, and that's how it's serving. I actually thanked him when we were sitting down yesterday. I said, thank you for facilitating me, because every time you do that, it's just reminding me to be in this point now, to realize that I shouldn't really care about that. So.
That's huge. Again, that's more freedom, and that's really you having that beautiful bliss in your life and that fun in your life, right? That really is who you are. You know, every time Rika's facilitated you, okay, to find, because it's like the part that you are, this is what's actually natural for you, is to be in that space, right? And it's beautiful to see the breakthroughs in that regard. It's awesome. It's so awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super awesome. And I think the next part really is integrating all that into the practical pieces. Because I think I got it in relationships. But like, as I sit down, let's say in my office, and I play with, okay, divine, you know, self or God, angels, what's going to be fun to do? And I just end up dabbling into stuff, playing with angel cards or just, you know, fixing stuff. Like, I don't really get to do anything like supposedly, you know, that moves needles, you know, because it's like just thinking something else is fun, like watching a video or maybe listening to a recording or something, like those are fun. So and maybe have something to share about that. It's like, okay, how do you actually move, you know, stuff or do creation? When I ask what's fun, and it's like something else pops up.
Well, part of it is, though, that you're judging that those things are not creation and that they're not leading you to your next creation, right? Like you never know the squiggly path that God is taking you down. Like doing those angel cards may give you that aha moment of, oh my goodness, I need to do this or put this on the calendar or whatever. And so know that you are doing it. I mean, all of us can bear witness to, you are bringing in that joy, and you are, you know, you're living from these principles now. And so the sky is totally the limit. There's infinite possibilities. And so don't let those old energies sneak back in of, oh, but I'm not moving forward in life, or somehow I'm not on track for my divine purpose or something. It's like, how could you be off track for that? You couldn't. Every bit of it is part of it, right? So you can, just like when you see the poop and you can't get upset about that, you cannot get upset about, you know, what you perceive as productive or not anymore, because it's all part of your path, and it's all wonderful. It's beautiful. It's awesome. Yeah. Does anybody else have thoughts on that? I see a few nodding heads. Yes, Gail.
Couple things. So first of all, Trissa, I kind of was I was in a coffee shop the other day and I was just kind of in a nice mood and whatnot. And this little girl came in with her mom and they had been for a walk and she had picked a piece of like straw thing. And she just randomly came up to me and she said, "Here, this is for you." I didn't know her from Adam.
Aw.
Her mom's just like, "You don't even know this lady. Why are you giving her?" And I just thanked her for, being so generous and sharing. And she just came up to me and gave me a big hug all around my knee and whatnot. She was just like the sweetest thing. And it was just that I was being the love, I think. And she was just, the love was coming back to me. So I thought that was amazing that
That's so beautiful.
just had this little encounter. And mom was like, "Oh, thank you for being so understanding."
Oh, that's precious.
It was
No,
just
that's
sweet.
really precious, Gail. Awesome.
And she was just beaming. She was just like, "Oh." And then someone posted this on Facebook. I think it was today. It was part of Greg Braden's post, which has more to do with Susan's topic we were talking about. It says, when you finally learn a person's behavior has more to do with their own internal struggle than it ever did with you, you learn grace.
Oh.
I thought that was perfect.
Oh, no wonder that little girl wanted to love you up, Gail. That's beautiful. Oh,
But, if we can remember it's more about them than us,
yeah,
even though it hurts us or whatever,
yeah.
it's something they're struggling with.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love that he uses the word grace in there. And there's so much grace in all of it. I mean, there's huge grace that we can also give to ourselves. And Trista, this circles back around to, it's like, you are giving yourself that grace. And so keep letting that in, keep letting those moments of the joy and the bliss and the play be longer. And those moments of, oh, but should I be doing this or what, because it is going to transfer over where you'll have those inspirations and it'll be things that will be creating in the way that you're, talking about now, right? But it'll be so much more natural and so much more relaxed for you. And, and then maybe there will be a moment one day where it's like, oh, actually doing a Facebook Live feels like the most fun thing I could do right now, or connecting with a graphic designer to create a, sales page is the most fun I could have today, right? And it will actually, because those things, or you realize, look, playing with the angel cards and how brilliant you are in understanding the energy patterns of them, you can start seeing people in your house and selling that, like really these insights, it'll continue. It's like, it's all going in the right direction. And if you trust that, then it'll be fun to continue on that magical path that you're on. Yeah.
Yes, I see that. What I'm getting right now is that really just be in that and play. Like, even if what's fun is just to dance and music and clean up the house, rather than do stuff. And so just trusting that it's all serving and that what needs to happen is going to happen in that moment.
Yeah. Well, if
Thank
you
you.
found a way to make cleaning up the house fun, there's $1 billion idea right there.
Because it's like, I can't, so that's what happens. I can't start anything if, the kids, there's stuff everywhere. So it's like, okay, before I even do anything, I want to clean up everything. So I don't know if that's, to me, it's fun for it to be clean first. So I don't know if that's my ego or...
I understand setting the sacred space and wanting it to be a certain way. Why not, right? That's awesome. And yet again, I mean, there's so many infinite ideas everywhere. It's like, do you know how many people don't find cleaning and organizing fun? And you could create a way for it to be fun for them, and people need that and would pay a lot of money for help with that. Like, there's so many things that we don't realize, that the tools that we have and the way of being that we have can be implemented in so many different fashions. It can be in home organizing, it can be in tarot card reading, it can be in, like, there's so many things that could turn into, you're helping somebody out, they're paying you for it, you're both having a good time, right? There's really a lot of possibilities there. Yeah, because just being around you when you're like this is so fun. Like, we're so honored to be gifted with your presence right now. And, you know, just the conversation is completely enlightening and enjoyable. And some people, you know, it's like, that's life-changing for them to even get to have these conversations. So, you know, don't devalue any of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Ah, you're so welcome, Trissa. You're so welcome. I see Janet has raised her hand again. You're going to be an expert at raising your hand, Janet.
I'm figuring it out.
Yes.
Well, first of all, Tricia, when I just look at you and see how happy you are, I think just being that joy is just going to attract people. And then also, I've been wanting to do something about my clutter, so I'm reading these two books. One is called A Year to Clear by Stephanie Bennett Vogt, and the other one is Your Spacious Self. She wrote that first. It was Clear Your Clutter and Discover Who You Are, and they're extremely spiritual. I was really surprised when I read the back of it of how many books she's read. So that might just be, you know, I don't know. I just have a clutter problem. So but it seems like she's saying things like, if you can keep the cleaning underneath, like when you get your buttons pushed in a flight or fight, if you can just do a little bit so that you don't push that button, and then you'll be able to. And so I'm making some progress, getting some order in my life. But I agree with Nicole that might be a way for you if you like to clean and keep track of things. But if you can. I found that on Facebook that she even has a video or something where people sign up and they get a little bit each day from her online. But I thought, well, I'll just read the books instead. But,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Janet. Well, and what I love about you is how you are, you love new insights and information. I mean, everything, you've got the Deepak meditations and you're reading these books, and you may want to turn that mirror and look at how you have so much wisdom about so many things. It's like, how can that serve the world and serve people around you? I mean, even if you had book clubs about some of these spiritual books that you're reading, people would love to come and talk with you and with the insights that you have and facilitate them through a process. Maybe there's other people that have cluttered houses that would love to read this book and would love to pay to participate in a club for it or something. It's anything that gets you excited. You are the gift. And so if your excitement can lead to others being involved and having their lives changed, it's like, that's what we're up to here. And how easy can it be for you, right? Like, you never know where you may find a whole community of people that just shine because you introduced them to a book, right? Yeah. That's really, really cool. Very cool. Thank you, Janet. And I see Jenny has her hand up too. Jenny, how are you today?
Hello.
Hi.
Well, let me see. It's like I'm very much at this sort of time, maybe overly preoccupied about how I can sort of apply myself and be of service, and what I can do and be. That's like I have a very difficult time, I think, communicating and expressing. So I have this kind of whole world of wisdom and knowledge and intuition, but I'm not able to get it from here to there. And that even happens like when I have a problem asking questions as well. I don't know what I'm finding that it's like I feel there's a great disconnect from who I am and what I can express and how I can be in the world as me. And I'm going through this sort of like I have like lots of friends on Facebook from sort of all walks of life, and a lot of them are in this sort of well-being spiritual community, and everyone's expressing themselves and everyone's getting stuff out there, everyone's creating, everyone's just sharing all these memes and everything, and I feel very inundated with stuff that it's like it just doesn't stop. It's just continuous, and I feel like I'm a part of it, but I'm not a part of it. So I'm not participating, but even though I am, so because I'm not I'm not present within my community or communities. I don't know, does that make sense? I think I just feel like I'm seeing everything and it's moving by me and it's going, but I'm never a part of it. It's like it happens and it's done. It's like, oh, well, that's done. And then, or I can't be that, or I can't have that, or I can't show that I am that or have that. And I feel weird sharing and posting stuff. And just being seen, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing all of this. I feel like there's so much richness and conversation and things that I relate to in what you just said, and I know others do too. And so let's talk about all of this, because I mean, there's like my mind's kind of going like 10 different directions, because there's actually so much in what you just expressed, and that's actually part of the thing that is the first thing I want to acknowledge is like just when you share with us, it is such a gift, and everything that you say it opens up so many different doors. And so in the past, perhaps when you've done that with people that haven't been able to receive it the way that we do, it might not have been received correctly, or you feel as though you're wrong because of people's reactions to how just in you being who you are, it actually opens all these different portals, all these dimensions, all these things. Like that's where I was just receiving when you were saying, and I was like, wow, there's so much that happens even in you just being completely open and vulnerable with us, that it's a huge gift. And yet it's not a surprise that it's been a challenge sometimes, right? Because of how people react when they don't understand or they don't know how to respond to energy, right? And we get that, and I see Leanne gets that, and let's have you talk in a second, Leanne. I just want to acknowledge, Jenny, that first of all, you don't have to be anything different than who you are. That's one thing I want to make sure I say, is that you can't judge anything that you've done or not done as wrong, right? So it's just you being here right now, you are a part of it all. And there's nothing more that you have to be comparing yourself to other people who know how to create a freaking meme or whatever. It's like that, you know, it's like,
I'm like,
you know, yeah, it is. It's
like
funny,
another fucking meme.
right, exactly. But, you know, but I relate to that because it's like, because all of us, we are on this path of expansion and we want to be more and be more and be all of who we are. But ultimately, who we are right now is exactly who we need to be. And that is enough. So it's the first aspect is being enough, knowing you're enough, knowing that you are all of that and more. And what you see in others, you could only recognize it in them because that's part of you too, right? Like you wouldn't even see the brilliance in others if you didn't also have that brilliance. So all of that judgment, all of that stuff, it's like we're still just kind of clearing all that off so that you don't have to live from that anymore. You don't have to do anything different, you know, and it's also beautiful that you know there's parts of you that want to express, and there's not a right or wrong timing on that, but actually being gentle and caring with those parts of you and exploring those with us through the business modules, through the mastermind, all of that. It's like letting it be exciting rather than, oh, I haven't done it yet, or I'm, you know, I haven't done it compared to this person or whatever. Like we want you to be who you came here to be, and we're excited for that journey that's already happening. Like even you bringing up the question, it's already happening. So, okay, Leanne, I know you got a brilliant bit to add here. Let me let you talk. I could go on and on about how much I love Jenny.
I love what you're saying. It's perfect. I'm just loving it all. And just when Jenny, when you were talking, and just your first item that you were expressing was how you didn't feel the connect to how you're feeling and what your gifts are and how to articulate that. And I'm like, oh my God, does she know that she's articulating it perfectly right now? Does she know that? So I'm typing it in the thing. No, like how you shared that with us was pristinely perfect. It was so clear and so understandable and not confusing, and
Yes.
it was to the heart. Like you got to the very deep place of what you were actually feeling and the pain that you were experiencing. So I think you did wonderfully. I don't see a disconnect at all. Just want you to know.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's beautiful. It's a great point, Leanne. Like the things that we've started telling ourselves probably at a very young age, I'm not good at, or this is what I struggle with. And again, there's a reason that we start telling ourselves that, and it's all based on judgments from other people or whatever. But then it's like it becomes real to us, but it's only real to us. It's not real to the people experiencing us. So you can look at Jenny and go, you're expressing beautifully. I can look at Jenny and go, oh my God, you're expressing like multidimensionally. You're opening up all these doors, and I don't even know which way to go with this because there's so much happening in you just sharing your heart, right? Like it's such a gift. And yet, you know, the old stories come back of, you know, this is what I'm not good at, or, you know, like it's just old stories that we've told ourselves, and we started telling them for good reason, but it's time to let that stuff go because it's just not true. Yeah.
I also love the what you might want to call the struggle or whatever you're experiencing, because to me energetically, I'm feeling that you have this desire to express and share your gifts, and it's starting to come to a head, and it needs to come there. It needs to get to that point where you're like, fuck you and fuck me and fuck what I'm feeling, and this is not fair, and how come they get to and I can't? Like it has to get to that point for you to say enough's enough. I'm sharing myself, and I don't care how it comes out. And I think energetically you're kind of getting to that summit of enough's enough. I need to express myself. I need to be myself. So if that's possible for you to sort of sort of feel into it that way, and that can be exciting. That can be, oh wow, I'm getting like this is me, like becoming me, and sometimes it comes to that head, and for you to say fuck, like enough's enough. I need to be me or I'm gonna die. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to figure out. It's like it's kind of like where do I fit in, or where like it's like everything's moving along like a train. It's like where do I jump in as me? But that's also just part of the illusion. It's like there's no it's like I feel like there's a finite or a limit even though I can't see myself expressing me, being me in any, I just have to be me. But it's like, yeah, I also struggle with, like, there's a way I'd like to be like me, and then is that acceptable? Because on some level I have a really wicked sense of humor. and I find myself very funny sometimes, and that's what I'd like to share.
Yes.
And even though it might come across as being really silly and childish, I don't know. I think it gets me laughing, and I'm like, I wish I could share this, but I just laugh with myself. And I think what I would like to be is just like happy and expressing myself joyfully and having a laugh and just being my jokey silly me. And yet I have this crazy serious side as well. So I know, I see both ends of everything.
Well, you're all energies, you know, as we all are, right? But please, 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 please continue trying out your silly energy with us and letting us laugh with you. I mean, it's really a safe place to let that part of you fly. And even you saying that was getting us laughing and feeling you and going, oh, we love her. Please let her out to play, right? Really, really let her out to play. And it's like, it really is that point. I love, Leanne, that you're talking about that point where it comes to where it's like, I can't worry about what people think anymore. I have to be me. And then when you realize that you being you, you get to find other people that love and adore that silly part of you and want to be silly with you. I mean, imagine anybody that you love who's silly. Imagine Rika if she was afraid of her silly side or didn't want to express that part, right? It's like, that would be a travesty that the world didn't get to receive that. I mean, all of us, when we let loose, and because we are, you know, that lightness of the childlike, you know, lightness that we all have within us, what a travesty if we don't listen to that part and let it come out. And then it inspires others too. Like, you may be surprised how many people have had to put on their serious face around you. And then when you're the first one to take that bold step, they let you in on their inner worlds as well. I can totally see that happening. Totally see that happening. Tony Ann, do you have something to contribute to this conversation or something new to bring up?
Yes, to contribute.
Cool, please do.
So when you're in this program and it's your first year, and about the time of year that we're in, that's when you start, for me, that's when I started claiming things for myself. So when Leanne said that it's coming to a pivotal point, she was exactly right, because it's more of keep asking, what am I aware of? What's my awareness? Because there's so much coming at you because you're so intuitive and so with everything. You're so connected into everything. So then now you're starting to claim who you are. And then you're going to get to the point where it's okay, it doesn't matter. I mean, I could be in a grocery store and be sick and snot running down my nose. And they asked me how I am, and I said, I'm snotty with a chance of clearing. That made me laugh so hard that all these people came around to, like, you know, see what I said, because I didn't want to say, oh, well, I'm sick and I don't feel good, and because I didn't want pity. Yeah. And he's like, well, he's like, what are you trying to do? I said, I'm just trying to find broth, but there's bone broth and there's this broth, and I just want soup. You know, and because of how I was feeling, I couldn't even choose a broth, you know. It was really good, and handed it to me. And I went to the register, and a girl goes, can you just go? And I said, what? She goes, just go. And I said, well, I have to pay for this. She goes, no. She goes, the way you made him laugh, we have never heard that guy laugh so hard. and everyone came to, like, see it, and she goes, and we all have, like, a story now, and you just go feel better and go home, and so I left with, like, 2 chicken breasts going out the door going,
that's brilliant.
That is so great, Tony. And you know, the other thing it's wonderful about that is, again, you were just totally being who you were. You were giving yourself permission to be who you were. You weren't, you know, doing any woe is me about not feeling well. You were just having fun with life. And then look at how that translated into abundance, how that translated into other people getting permission to be who they are. Some guy who doesn't laugh getting to laugh, you know, like just that very simple thing. That's where, again, we don't have to be anything other than who we are. We don't have to do a lot of stuff. All we have to do is go to the store and get some broth, you know, like that's all we got to do. And you're changing the world. Like that had an impact, and it's a great story, and I wish I could have seen it.
And I don't go in that store. I usually don't go in that one because it's closest to my house and there's a lot of gangs around there. I was like, they didn't feel good, so it was like not even half a mile from my house. So that's why I went there. So
wow,
it was an amazing. And that's the thing, like Jenny, you just exude so much love, and people want to be around you.
Yeah,
people want to be with you.
Yeah.
So you can even, like, when you're in the morning and you're talking in the mirror, one of the things I did was I stood with my inner child and said, I stand for loving you, and I don't allow anyone to shut you up anymore.
Cool.
And that was a big thing for me, and it shifted a lot. So that may be something you could try. Or
yes, yeah. Thank you, Tony Ann and Leanne and Nicole and everyone. Thank you. Thanks.
You're so welcome. Just keep having fun with it. Let us know how we can support you, and just, you know, anytime that self-judgment comes up, just turn it into loving that silly, beautiful part of you, and you know, letting it like it is. It's like it's your little secret that you're going to share selectively. You know, you're going to start letting it out and sharing that secret in places where it feels like, oh, this could be, you know, and then it'll just be more and more natural. And again, it comes back to the beginning of our conversation of this whole, you know, time today is, and not letting other people's behaviors, reactions, this and that have one iota of influence on you being who you are. You know, that it doesn't matter, because maybe not everybody's going to receive it, and yet you don't know how it's having an impact, even if they're not receiving it in a way that you would prefer them to, right? So,
yeah.
And trust your impulses too, Jenny. Like if you feel that impulse to just even microscopic impulse, just trust it and take that little leap, no matter how small it is. That's the juice. Whatever impulse you're having, that's the juice. That's the Jenny juice. So.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, it's like it's the little thing inside that's like.
Yes.
Yes, the Jenny juice. I love it. That's brilliant. Oh my goodness. Danielle, did you want to chime in here?
I did. I just wanted to also add, it's so beautiful what everyone said. And I also wanted to add too that that don't compare, you know, that we're all so unique, and that's the beauty of who we are. And for me too, it's about being able to find my own way, because you are different, Jenny, you know, which is wonderful. You know, I'm different, everybody's different, and they're the gifts that we all have to bring here. And and I think, you know, it occurred to me recently that nobody gets received in the ego program. You know, nobody is received in the matrix. None of us are. But there's people here in this community, you know, outside of the ego program that can totally receive you, totally receive exactly who you are. So be you.
Yeah.
Be the
I-
gift that you are.
Thank you. It's like I had this just share as this crazy sort of like insightful sort of dream that I had, which was very kind of where I could see this tree coming out of, it was like a tree coming out of source, and it's this like big sort of source sort of something creating, and then there was these big flowers that are coming out of the source, and that was the real stuff. And then that stuff was falling onto the ground, and then all the people came and they gathered up all of the things that fell, and then they put them in baskets. And then I went over to the basket to see if I could get some of that, and then the basket of the flowers, and then the people came before I had a chance to take them all away to be sold. And then there was one fake flower sticking up out of the box, and I went to pick that, and that was what I got. And so it feels like there's the stuff that's natural, that comes from you. That's what you need to stay with, and you have to stop chasing all the other things that are kind of falling and being taken away, and then you end up with the fake you because you're not being direct from source or something.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Wow.
It's like
I love that. Thank you for that, Jenny. That is really beautiful. Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And there we are looking at our fake flower going, wait.
I'm not a fake flower.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that. It's like the coffee cat or the fake flower, like the thing that's not direct. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
So choose another flower from God's infinite menu.
Yeah.
Exactly. Good one, Danielle. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Janet, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that your sense of humor is such a gift. And that, I have never laughed for 2 or 3 days in a row until I was in Mount Shasta rooming with you. And and I haven't laughed much since I've been home, but, your presence is just a gift. That's all there is to it. And your sense of humor is delightful. And whatever else you feel, just feel it, let it up, and get rid of it. It's time for you to be happy.
Yeah. Thank you, Janet.
I love you. I
I
love
love you too.
That's beautiful. And Janet, it's time for you to be happy as well.
Yeah.
So maybe the two of you need to get on some giggle date phone calls and remind each other how fun you are. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks, Tony. I see that.
Yes.
A laughing yoga class.
Exactly. Laughing yoga. That's good too. Gail, did you want to chime in here?
Yeah, it was for Jenny.
Yeah.
I love your energy, Jenny, and I want you to know that you're saying you don't fit in, but you probably think you don't fit in because you're not enough. You don't fit in because you're too much.
Yeah.
You're so special that people don't know how to receive you.
Totally.
But people in this group can receive you. So don't be worried about all those other people that are stuck in their ego that can't receive you.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. They're just not able.
Yeah.
And you were saying you're having trouble communicating. I love when you communicate, but if it's difficult for you, something's coming to me about, have you tried like writing or something visual or something to get your ideas across? Maybe there's another way you can express yourself.
Yeah.
And show the unique you.
Yeah. That's beautiful, Gail. Yeah,
Thank
like
you.
even the story of your dream. I mean, if that was written down somewhere, how many people could that bless? And I love what Danielle said, and also Gail, you reiterated about nobody can be received in the ego program. I mean, Danielle, when you said that, I was like, dang, that's exactly what we're talking about, right? And so no wonder we all kind of don't feel received, or people don't get me, and and then all of us are too much, right? Like that, all to be in this group, right? Your whole life you've been too much, and so here we are, and always feeling like that was something that was wrong with us, right? So I love how it's actually the opposite. It's like, we definitely need to keep expanding rather than shrinking down in the face of that, right? So thank you, Gail, for those comments, and Danielle, that was just brilliant. And there's Aurora. Good morning, Aurora.
A cup of tea.
Yay!
I'm awake.
Yay! It's great to have you with us. We've been exploring so many beautiful, beautiful things today. Yes, yes. What else is percolating up as this conversation continues? You guys, Tony Ann, do you have something here? Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
So people like to call me, and when they're leaving their message, at the end of their message, they say, "Be well." And it really pissed me off the other day. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, why is this pissing you off? And it's like, because I could feel how they're assessing how they think I am, because I'm not communicating, or I'm not being what they want me to be. And right now I haven't really communicated with anyone. I've been quiet since Mount Shasta. And today was the first day I actually went and did something with someone, because I went to a gem and mineral show and I got gifted selenite, all this, like a bag of selenite. So, and I just knew I had to go, but I didn't buy anything. I was just there for like an hour or so. And, but it was really cool, because I got to see the whole matrix of when someone has the egoic mind playing of what they're trying to project onto you.
Ah, okay.
So I went through that whole thing, and then I went through when I was a child and had the ulcer, and my parents were trying to feed me because they're afraid, because everything they were feeding me I was throwing up. So I had this program that played that if I didn't eat, I would die. So my parents were like overfeeding me and stuff. So when the Be Well triggered that, I felt that triggered my inner child with, oh, fucking everybody thinks I'm not well. Like, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? And so I went through and worked with her, and that shifted it to another level for me. But then it was, my awareness was that it was never me that wasn't well. And that was really big. It wasn't me that was really sick. That ulcer that I was carrying was because of how my father was abusing my mother while I was in the womb. And that was like, so it like makes me want to cry. But it was just so big, because it was like so healing to realize like that came in with me. To be an infant and to come in with an ulcer, that means that a lot of stuff was happening inside of my mother. And being so psychic that I am, to have all that shift is like so big. And I just wanted to share that to, because I haven't even talked with coaches and stuff. I really have been isolating in the love that I am. And being in the love that I am is really amazing, because I have to go to the store because I have to have food and stuff, and every time I'm in the store I get stopped. I'm trying not to be noticed, like there's a part of me that didn't want to be acknowledged, because I was like processing a lot of stuff, and I was getting so acknowledged and so loved, because I was doing that thing that Rika says to do in the morning, where you bring in so much love and so much love and even more love and even more love. And I was doing that. And I even changed her tidal wave song to, it's a tidal wave of love and prosperity. So that the prosperity and the love wash over me together. And it's like a figure 8, and I'm going to do a painting of it at some point. But it was just like so much like moving, you know, because I normally don't drive with my windows down because of the pollen, because of, you know, whatever. And I don't know how many people saw that post that I was listening to the tidal wave song. I was parked at a light, and this man goes, "Excuse me." And I said, "Yes." And so I had to turn down Rika because I had her blasting. And what are you listening to? And I said, "The Miracle CD by Rika Zimmerman." He goes, "Is that blonde chick that does stuff on Facebook?" And I said, "Well, yeah, she does a lot of things on Facebook. She's very well known." And yes. And he goes, "Well, how do you know her?" I said, "Well, I'm taking coaching program with her. You know, she's mentoring me in the coaching program." He goes, "Do you have a business card?" So I hand it to him, the light changes, and then I'm off. And I was just like,
oh my goodness, you know.
Because I open the windows, you know, because I don't, usually I'm singing and they're singing. I don't have my windows open, and I don't watch the faces beside me because people will actually follow me into a parking lot and pull when I get out, they start to talk to me. And I'm like, "Did you follow me?" And they go, "Yeah." What were you listening to? You were just smiling and so happy. You know, and every time I say to them, it's a Rika Zimmerman CD. You know? I have 2 of her CDs, and then I have a lot of her chantings and stuff, you know. Stuff, so.
Well, I mean, it's interesting to me that, you know, you're trying to not be acknowledged, or you're not, you know, that you think that you can somehow not be seen, right? You know, it's interesting, right? And so it's like, of course, if you don't want to talk to somebody in the moment, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And yet I find it exciting just how magnetic your energy is, and just how people that are needing to find you with such ease. I mean, in the car next to you, that's actually, it's a huge blessing, because it's like, you know, we can't, you can't create that stuff. That's just the magic of the universe, magnetizing people to you. And yet I also respect that you're in an internal process right now, because it sounds like you're really having some beautiful insights, even closing on a voicemail to be well. It's like you took that all the way back. Like you took the energy of that all the way back to healing yourself even before you emerged in this world physically, right? And so that's very powerful, and I commend you for, you know, rather than just going, "Why is that pissing me off?" You actually, you have that courageousness, Tony, and that you go into it and you get to the root of it, so that you have more freedom for you in your life. And then that's magnetic. People go, "What does she have that I don't have? What is her secret sauce?" You know? And so that's beautiful, really, really beautiful. And that aspect of then, now those words, "be well," you can take it without any charge on it. It can just be, "Oh, that person loves me," right? You can not have to have that charge anymore if somebody says that to you, because those words don't have to have that that trigger anymore. It can just be, "Oh, how sweet, that person is sending me love," you know?
Well, and also, there was a person on the phone that said it to me after, I don't know, I think it was like the 10th time. And I said, "Excuse me, may I say something to you?" And she's in the program next year. And I said, "You know, when you say 'be well' to me, this is what I'm feeling coming from you. This is my awareness. So maybe you want to," because a lot of people in spiritual communities say 'be well' when they hang up, because they're working with clients or whatever, so that's what they say. And I said, maybe ask your spirit guides what words would work for you, because the energy of 'be well' isn't working for you right now. And then there was a shift for her, and now when she's saying it's coming from a different place. But and it was also, and then I shared everything that I had go on for me, And then I said, so it's really good because sometimes I could like scream at someone, but I didn't. I just said, hey, that doesn't feel okay for me. And this is what I feel. And
Yeah.
so I even did that with a person, which is not like me, but it was very good for both of us.
Well, no, it does. It sounds like it ended up being mutually beneficial. And, I'd love for it to be the place where people can say anything and it doesn't have to mean one thing or another. Again, to your inner peace. It's like, it's the same thing that we've been talking about. It's like they can say, see you later, honey, and you wouldn't care or whatever, and it would be just fine because it doesn't matter, right? It's like their stuff is their stuff, and you didn't have to take any of that on. You could just be you. You could be happy and not let it do that. And how cool that you took it to its origin within you of what that energy was. So that's awesome. Yeah. Wow.
It was very healing, and I still, there's more parts of it. And it was even like after that I had a dream of my dad.
Oh.
My dad was washing my feet, and he said he was washing all the sins that he had caused upon me.
Oh my goodness.
And I woke up just like crying because it's like, I don't know how to explain all that, but it's like very powerful.
It's extremely powerful because it's like you're saying yes to this, and then it opens the floodgates to the next thing, and you're getting to the roots, and then there's more roots and there's more roots, and it's just unraveling so that none of it has to create knots anywhere in your system anymore, right? You're unraveling all those places. And it's showing up in this apparent 3D reality. It's showing up in the dream time, all of it. It's like your whole soul is working on my own freedom to not have any of those projections, any of that tied up in your system at all. Anybody's projections of you not being well, anybody, your father, anything that he put on you, it's like you get to be free from all of that, and you get to be just you. You get to be who you came here to be without all those projections of the rest of the world. That's what you are choosing. It's amazing. Yeah, that is deeply healing. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Leanne, did you want to chime in here?
Oh, just loving what she's saying. Tony Ann, I love that you healed that chunk. I'd call it a chunk in I love it. And I've done that too, and it's just it's so powerful, and there's not a lot of words to express it. It's really just so special. Yeah. And I also have stuff to share, so I'm okay with just,
awesome.
Punctuate, like, working, finishing with Tony Ann. I'm in the rush.
Cool. Beautiful. Yeah, I like that, Leanne, the chunk, right? It's like, whew, throw that chunk out. Yeah, that's, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. And again, the fact that people are drawn to you, Tony, there's a reason for that, right? There's a reason that people recognize there's a freedom and a joy that you have that they may not have in their lives, and that you may have some very simple ways of helping them get there. And you don't have to give that away, and you don't always have to have those conversations if the timing's not good for you, but you can use that to contribute to your own abundance, to contribute to your business, to contribute to your life as well. It's like it's naturally there for you. And so I want to, be excited about that with you. It's amazing, like your grocery store story, it's not a small thing that your joy and you just being who you were led to everybody changing and you not having to buy your products. All of that is just like, it's worth acknowledging yourself for. Yeah. Super awesome. Aw, beautiful.
Thank you all for holding the space and the love. I feel you when I need it. I just tap in, everybody.
Oh, we love you. We love you, love you, love you. Thank you. Oh, so beautiful. Leanne, did you have a few more things you wanted to share?
Oh, yes, I do. Let me turn my page.
Turn a new page, Leanne. All right, here we are.
Oh God, yeah. Well, just really interesting kind of space that I'm in as a coach, and I wanted to share some of my experiences.
Thank you.
I've been doing, so one, I joined the Wealthy Intuitives class with Johanna because I really felt like I wanted to bring myself to the next level in terms of the whole business approach, like the perspective of that. So it's a different energy for me to be on top of stuff literally every single day. It's a different change of pace, but I know that it was required for me to really step into myself. So that's been really cool. And it's just, you know, perfect timing after Shasta. I knew that it was time that I would step further into my greatness or my own unique self and offer like a level 1 teaching. So I've committed to that, and I'm looking for venues. I've created the sales page and writing my sales pitch and whatever you want to call that. So that's really cool. I've committed to that. I'll give you the update. And I've been, you know, sort of putting myself out there and trying different things. So I've been doing a lot of Facebook Lives, and I made an offer on Facebook Live a couple of weeks ago to anyone, any of the first people who messaged me. I was offering a free session, 45-minute session of soul speaking. I just called it that. I don't know what that is, but basically,
cool.
Basically, it is what it sounds like. We're going to talk to your own souls, and I've done that, but interwoven in sessions. And I'd never really done it as a focus for a session. So I figure, what's a better way than to reach out to people and really climb out of my comfort zone? So I offered that on Facebook, and you know what?
What?
Not one person messaged, not one person. And in the beginning, I was like, oh, well, that hurts just a little, but I've come so far that actually it doesn't really hurt, because I'm seeing something bigger here. I'm like, what is Source trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm like, it said go to the people, because you're expecting them to come to you. And I was like, damn, because that's scary for me. So lo and behold, I'm like, okay, the next networking event I go to, I'm going to stand up and just make an announcement, and it's going to be unexpected because I'm not planning it. It's just going to be. So I did that at my next networking. I think there were 25 people there, and I got 5 people signed up.
Yes.
For a free soul speaking session.
Cool.
So I took the leap.
Yes, you did.
And right before I did that, I just want to say, if any one of us is putting ourselves out there and you get 0 response, just, it's okay. I've been through it. Do it anyways. But I just want to say that could happen. So it did for me, and I'm glad that it did, because it made me sort of change my, you know, how I connect to people. So I got 5 people signed up, and I'm really excited.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So the first one was this morning.
Okay.
And yeah. So for me, that's a potential client. So I'm treating this like,
yes,
it's a potential client. It's word of mouth. It's me also stepping out of my comfort zones. It's me giving gifts to humanity or people, and me practicing what my gifts are. So it has all these elements that are really supportive and good for me. So, but it's also part of a business. So so I got to do my sales pitch. It went over really well. And this particular person I met with this morning, just on FaceTime, really simple. She'd never felt any, like, she was, bless her heart, she's a person who claimed she doesn't feel or know what it's like to even have a relationship to, phenomenality or energy or angels or source or anything. And there were many times where she's like, no, I don't feel anything. So it was just what I had it's just what I asked her. So what do you feel in this part of your body? So me intuitively had to tune into what she was actually feeling. And then that's when the truth came out. Oh, well, I'm feeling this, So it was just me going, okay. So I didn't put her on the spot and say, see, you do feel something.
I love so much, Leanne, your courageousness and the fact that you're sharing this with us. It's so valuable. I can't even tell you. God bless you. Hey, you may put your heart out there on Facebook and you may get no response, and it's okay. Keep going. It doesn't mean anything about you or the value of the soul speak. No, it's so cool that you just allowed that spontaneous soul speaking to emerge and you went with it. You didn't plan your pitch and you went with it. This is going to start snowballing. It's like it's got, the universe is giving you the pieces in the order in which it's like, okay, so first you get the experience of nobody responding on Facebook. Now you get the experience of the lady that says she doesn't feel anything. It's like And we love it, because this is like what it's like when you're, when you're hitting the pavement and you're going for it. It's like, okay, what experiences do you have in working with people? And I love that you don't make any of it about you and that you're having fun with it. It seems like you're really actually enjoying seeing, okay, is anybody going to go for this? That's so cool.
Yeah. It was, it's great. And, me 5 years ago, 2 years, whatever it would have been, I would have been devastated. I would have quit. Forget it. I'm not received. And I'm like, no, they're telling me to go. Like, I could hear them saying, no, you got to go to them, and it's about time. So, so I did that, and by the end, she was in tears.
Oh, of course.
In tears, and she's like, what a gift. And you're so generous. This is such a gift, and really thank you so much. And so I just felt so blessed. I was in tears when I hung up. I'm like, I'm gonna let you go so that you can be with what's happening for you right now. But when I hung up, I'm like, that was me. I really was just so humbled by that whole process. So it's like, look at the magic that can come out of not letting that situation be something catastrophic, I guess, to your heart,
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's why anybody that puts anything out there, it's like, I totally commend the courage, because it does take courage to put it out there and maybe not get a response, or to have to listen to how you have to pivot. Oh, I have to go to the people. You mean I got to go to where people are already gathered and be vulnerable live? Oh, great. And yet look at the beauty that came out of you doing that. I love that. That is amazing.
So I still feel really humbled by it every step of the way. And I don't know what to, I'm just blown away. I feel like it's not me. I'm sort of just along for the ride, and choosing on behalf of Source. And I don't know, that's about it. But how fun. I just wanted to share that may happen. And
yes, that may happen. And that may happen, and it has nothing to do with you or the offer or what you're able to give to people. And it's really an important point, and I love that we get to have this forum to have those conversations. Aurora, did you want to say something about that? I see you got your hand up.
Just that's inspired me, and I'd like to share something myself when we finish with Leanne. So
got it. Okay.
Thank you, Leanne. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes. Okay. So Tony has something to say to Leanne, and then we'll scoot on over to Australia. All right, Tony.
So Leanne, on Facebook, they changed something so not as many people see your posts also, just so you're aware. Only because I put YouTube videos up and stuff, and now I have a YouTube channel called Magnificent Life Changes, and I did different things so people could get it, and the people that
Ooh, I love that. Yeah.
weren't receiving it. And I also want to know that when you post, is it okay if I see it, if I post it to my page?
Oh,
So
absolutely.
that a lot of my
Yeah.
clients from New York and stuff may want to, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. And I loved your comments. Everyone who commented, thank you so much. Gail and yourself and Crystal, and I mean, if I forgot someone, sorry. Just, yeah, thank you so
I
much.
just wanted to like ask permission so that I know that in the future. I can
Oh, yes, and
share.
likewise, yeah, because we share each other, yeah, for absolutely. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So
And you know,
I had one more question, Nicole. Just
yeah, go for it, Leanne. Yeah, please.
Where's the PowerPoint for LT level 1 and 2 that we would show to class?
We have not shared that yet. You know, if it's coming right up, like it sounds like you're getting ready to do a class pretty soon, you know, Rika is still cutting it down, even though I think we did have a conversation actually, you know, if you guys want it in its entirety in the way that's like too many slides, we can do that. We're just, she's trying to do the work for you guys of cutting it down and having it be shorter. But if a class is coming up or if somebody needs it, we can certainly get it. We're not holding it back. She's just feeling like it's too much information and wanting it to be more consolidated. If that
So
makes
when I'm ready, I'll just check in with you again. And
yeah, perfect.
January, that's when I'm off.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, and maybe, well, I can check in with Rika whether we should just send it out as is, because I don't know how long this revision process is going to take, so we'll see.
Okay.
Cool, but thanks for asking about that, because you know, as Rika teaches these classes and you know, she's using those slides, it's like she's having more insights about how to continue to consolidate and refine and even make little modules and sections and 3-day classes, you know, like she's continually innovating and having these ideas too. So that's a collaboration that as you start putting classes on the books and you're looking at how to create it, maybe even that can be part of the flow of saying, hey, well, this is what I really need or how it would help me, and you know, or how I did it or whatever, as this, you know, as this co-collaboration as we continue to create something that works for everyone. Yeah, thanks, Leanne. Way to commit to doing that. That's going to be fun in January. New year. All right. That's great. That's great. Okay. Yay. Okay, Aurora. Let's go for you.
Okay. I'm unmuted. Excellent.
Yep, we can hear you.
Well, thank you, Leanne. I was so prompted to get on the call this morning. I woke up going, oh, I'm so tired. And then I get on. So thank you, Priscilla, to hear that. So I recently sent out an email to my list, which is, you know, over 1,000 people, with my Sedona video on it. And, you know, just say, this is, you haven't heard from me for a while. I've moved up to Queensland. This is what I've been doing. And the invitation it was for people to join my webinar that I do on Wednesday nights, on which I have under 10 people. And so, because I'm always in the question like, oh, is this, you know, anyway, I got not one response. I got a few, lovely to hear from you, wasn't that sweet? I got no, I watched the video, wasn't it amazing? None. Wow. 0, and no interest in the webinar. And so I just, what took me, because I tend to get in the moment, I go, okay, I can send the video out now. I still do have some enormous energetic resistances that I try to wade my way through. Sent it out I was in the love and light and felt happy to just get it out there. And then I forget about it. See, I'm not energetically. So then days later I went, oh, has anybody done anything? And there was a few comments. So thankfully, like Leanne, I was able to not go into devastation, but I'm just like, oh, you know, I am constantly with this question of, I know my teaching is important and has a lot to offer, and I do remarkable work with clients every week, life-shattering, and yet there's this you know, so I just loved hearing Leanne's story about, because I do feel like I wait for the inspiration to do things, and it's like, what is the next piece? And, you know, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to share that, because I had that process all by myself and haven't said that to anybody. And haven't, I mean, that's one thing, I guess, that, you know, not having, I mean, I'm not trying to build a business, but I would love, I do think, I have a lot of trouble listening back to my webinars, but the angels tricked me the other night, and I was trying to watch a Netflix show and my webinar came up. Isn't that funny? So it was like, oh, okay. So I did persevere and watched myself. And, you know, I had a lot of critiques of myself, and the sound quality wasn't great, blah, blah, blah. And I also got that there was, you know, great teaching in it. So yeah, I guess speaking it out is important, because I kind of do this angsting on my own, and you know, don't have clear guidance, and, you know, do get very distracted because Daniel's been very demanding in life, blah blah. But yeah, I know I'm pretty sure Rika would say it's my spiritual ego, which I'm learning about more and more. And but I'm kind of in the dark about it. And here's a piece that's just coming in that I've just with Tony Ann sharing too. Like last time I was on the call with Rika and talked about this loneliness attack I had, and, you know, and she was saying that's a terrible feeling. And I did a session with a friend who does theta healing. We exchanged sessions, and this amazing piece dropped in, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with the idea of being a walk-in. I'm sure Tony Ann is. And so I am a walk-in, and we went back to the moment when I dropped in, when this body was 7 and having an operation. And that, like, the shock of being here, and the shock of getting that there was nobody who understood, recognized, or could support me, and what it was like to be in a human body. And this little human body was absolutely terrified, was like, I've never recovered from it. I had never recovered from it. And we did a whole session on that, and it was remarkable. Like, the loneliness was like my intergalactic self, like, boom, hitting a human body age 7 and going, what? Like, it was like, you know, I decided to come, but it was like, really, it was a piece I'd never, it was amazing. I had like so much held in the body about that experience. And so the universe has done something about that very quickly, which is that our beloved Justine, who you all know and love, is, as we speak, has just packed up her life in Sydney because it was causing her a lot of grief. And I just said to her, come up here. Why are you even there? And she's driving up here as we speak to live on the Sunshine Coast. And to come and stay with me for the time being. And it's like, you know, and we're just excited about, I just said to her, we do not have to do this journey on our own anymore. Enough of struggling on our own. It's ridiculous, you know. We're family, you know. So that's awesome. And it's like the angels have just cleared the path for her. It's just been amazing. Like, we thought it would take her months, and it took her 3 days, because she's a whirlwind when she gets going. She just packed up her life. She's in the car, and she will be a real help to me with my son, because she's knows this journey. She's got 2 kids on the spectrum herself, and she's great with the diet. We're doing this remarkable diet to shift his physiology, which is really causing him pain, and she does that diet. And so it's just so divinely blessed, I can't tell you. So it's like things are shifting really rapidly. But yeah, sorry, that was a lot in one piece, but thank you for listening. I haven't been able to say that to somebody.
Thank you for sharing all that, Aurora. Wow. I mean, again, it's like the big chunks, right? We're letting go of the really big chunks. And for you to go from that experience of the loneliness and Rika's facilitation to then the theta healing to really, twofold, to have that deep understanding of the roots of that. And then on the counter side of that, to then invite Justine and go, we don't have to do this alone. I don't have to, and to allow the gifts of that to start rolling in instantaneously. I mean, that is tremendous. I'm so happy to hear all of that, and that all of that is coming up and out for you. That is absolutely beautiful. And I also, in the beginning of your sharing, I wanted to stop and celebrate that. Oh my God, you sent your video to 1,000 people. I mean, that is huge. Yay, Aurora. I mean, really, really, I am celebrating you. And Tony Ann in the comments asked, well, could we know about your webinar? There might be a few of us that could be happy to join you. And so that would be wonderful if you would share that with us. But, I love that Leanne shared before you in that, it's like, obviously none of that has to do with you or the brilliance of your teaching and the wisdom that's contained in that. And I love that you listened for the moment for when it was meant to go out. And then, there's infinite reasons of how and why, and if people watch it and not, and there's some technical aspects of maybe you can look and see how many people even received it or even opened it, and there's some aspects of that you can look into for your own information, like open rates on emails these days are definitely going down. As a business, we're looking at that ourselves, right? And especially if you hadn't emailed your list in a while, it just could have been a horrible receiving rate. Like, you could have gone into people's spam boxes, people that would have loved to have seen that video, right? And then the other thing is, it's out there, and just knowing that the people that are meant to see it, they'll see it when the time is right. Like, some people, receive something like that and go, oh, I don't have 15 minutes right now. I'll get to that this weekend, right? Like, I mean, there's so many infinite stories like that we don't need to go into, but as we know, none of them have to do with you, right? None of them. And I'm so excited that you sent that out there, and that now it's out there for people to see and to share and to talk about, and that, you don't have to take any of it on as that there's not something important that you're here to share, because there is, obviously, and the numbers don't really mean anything. And yet we are here to support increasing that, right? And we can continue to have the conversations about, okay, well, what else can we do? What else, what is the message there? Like, Leanne got the message of, okay, you've got to go to the people. Okay, so is there a message from that email for you? Is it a simple matter of, oh, I've got to send it again to the people who didn't receive it? Sometimes you have to send things twice, or is it, oh, it was only meant for a few people, and now the next step is I'm going to put it on YouTube and start a YouTube channel like Tony Ann has. Like, there's many possibilities that I'm feeling with all of that. But I think the really exciting and important part is that you've put it out there. You've had this amazing chunk, this insight, this, this blessing of now being able to receive the camaraderie of help and of doing this journey with people that you love. And I mean, how beautiful that you and Justine get to enjoy that space together for as long as she's there, and get to plan some next steps, whatever that may be. I'm really amazed. And when it's something you think is supposed to take a few months and it takes a few days, there's some divine action in there. Yeah, there's definitely. Danielle, I see you've got something to, she's brimming over.
Oh, sorry. No, I just want to give a testimonial.
Oh,
because
awesome.
I've been doing
Yes.
Aurora's weekly calls for nearly 2 years.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
They are amazing. And I have had some of the most beautiful downloads during those calls, and such a sense of what that group is doing every week for the planet. Yeah. And, there's this beautiful connection, soul heart reunion connection between the beings on that call. So yeah, it is truly beautiful. And I did see your email, Aurora, and I can't remember if you had testimonials on there or not.
I did down
You
the bottom,
did.
way down the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to I wanted to share that.
Thank you. Thanks, Danielle.
That's beautiful. Well, and I can feel the truth of that. And so, you know, there's another aspect too that, you know, I could see how it's a very beautiful and unique being, you know, that because of that gathering, it's like it attracts very unique, amazing beings to hold that space every week. And so it's more of getting that message out to more of those beings. Where do those beings hang out? Where would they want to see the video of Aurora and go, oh my God, this is totally where I need to be? Because we know they're out there and we know that they're actually looking for that, Aurora. So it's just a matter of making all those connections. And by you being willing to put it out there, it's like that's a huge step in that willingness, you know, because again, that's very courageous, and I'm really happy because it was brilliant. I mean, that time in Sedona, it was amazing. It really was.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So how are you with all of that, having, you know, those insights with the theta healing and the walk-in piece, and then having that piece with Justine? It's like, how is it all settling in your body right now? How is it all feeling?
Well, I feel that it's, you know, I feel like Justine's energy and her ability, her great brain power, she's not afraid of Facebook like I am, and you know, I don't know, just some energy comes up with Facebook that I really have trouble going near it. And so, you know, the phrase keeps coming, she can be the wind beneath my wings, as I am for her in her emotional life, and her, you know, I am that for her in other areas but she can be. So I just feel like if I've got someone saying, okay, if you know, put that on your business page, because I think, oh, and then I go, oh, so I can't do it. You know, whereas she would just have it done in 5 minutes, whereas I'd be agonizing about it for 3 days, you know, and she'd just like do it. And it wouldn't bother her. In fact, it would be quite fun. She'd go, oh, let's do that. And, you know, like, I just feel I've been lacking a whole, that's not a word we want to use, but, you know, I could have, some energy would be helpful to come in underneath and just support everything I hold here.
Yes.
And trying to move through and do what I passionately want to do on the planet as well. Yeah. Because I love that Sedona video. I love saying to people, you know, hey, you want to watch my video? And it is on YouTube, and I do have a channel.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
People can Google me and find it, and I've had people go, they've Googled me and found it, and
cool.
But, yeah. So I just appreciate. I'm so get the energies, like the angels are coming in and picking both Justine and I up, as it were, and you know, so that we can both do what we're here to do. And you know, I really feel that there's magnificent possibilities in that, and great things are going to happen, because I just feel all the energy is just moving so much, and so here, and yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love it. And I love how you pointed out again, it's like, so here you are in facilitating Justine in ways that is very natural and easy for you, and then she can come in and do the website and the Facebook that's very natural and easy for her, and that's the perfect loving collaboration. And that's where, you know, we do need people, right? Like, we all have our unique gifts, and some of them, you know, Facebook may not be our gift, right? And so if we have somebody that we love and adore, and they feel the same about us, and we're working to support each other that way, it's like, that's how it gets out even easier. And those are the angels that show up for us to, you know, to get the work out there in the way that it's meant to be, with ease and with fun and with laughter over tea. You know, it's like, I can feel all of that, and it's really good. Tony Ann said that Justine did that for her, and that's beautiful that she So I'm really grateful for the sharing, and I'm grateful for all the, we are all such courageous hearts here. We continue our own transformation, like the ever, never-ending expansion. Oh, there's another chunk. There's another piece. Okay, I gotta get at this piece, and okay, and I want to continue to put my heart out to the world and see who responds, and and that's why this community is such a blessing, because we're all cheering for each other and knowing that, hey, sometimes it's a little tough, and if nobody says yes, it's like, how do you know that doesn't have anything to do with you, and you keep that peace and that happiness in your own heart, like we were talking about at the beginning of the call, like regardless of how the world shows up, or how the Facebook followers show up, or whatever, whatever it is, that we still love ourselves deeply. Oh, Heather, I see that you have something to join in here. Yes. Hi.
I was just wondering if people could share some ideas about either how you've already used your video, or that you're thinking about using your video, or because I'd like to use, I have 2 now, and I definitely want to use the second one, but I don't have a website yet. And with all the concepts of what to send out to people in terms of giving them a taste of you, it's supposed to be really short and digestible for the first reach outs.
Yep.
I just feel a bit of kind of a little perplexed of how to use it. So I thought just opening up a brainstorm or a experience share.
I have a share. I am not making it short and digestible. It'll be digestible. It just won't be short. I'm just gonna do an intro to it. I'm gonna record myself now, so I'm gonna look very different from the video, and I'm gonna introduce the video. That's my plan, and I'm just gonna say whatever feels right for me, whatever the context of the story, or whatever my little juice in the beginning. Maybe the end, just if as a little gift, if someone's actually still watching. You know how they do that at the end of movies? There's someone wearing a clown hat because to the very end, that's gonna happen, and you're gonna get that gift. So I'm just gonna do something like that and just post it. Look, it's 20 minutes. You're gonna love it. So snuggle up, and yeah, that's my plan now. And then, I thought about cutting it into little bite-sized pieces and having it in applicable areas that are sort of relevant to wherever I'm sort of dropping it, where I feel inspired, which I don't know yet, but that's kind of my rough draft idea.
Where are you thinking of displaying the whole thing with the clown at the end? Where are you going to put it?
On Facebook for sure, Instagram, and YouTube.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Very, very cool. And once you have it on those platforms, there's also ways, you can share it to different groups or different places where it may be relevant depending on your topic, right? So, or have the administrators of certain groups, here's a gift for this group, again, depending on what topic it is and who you're trying to speak to. Do we have other video ideas? I think Arlie's gone from being a picture to a living body. All right.
I have a body.
Oh,
I'm in my bikini
Nice.
in the sunshine.
Beautiful.
In the park.
Beautiful. Oh. Oh.
And I don't consider this not being work. I consider this part of my work day.
Yes.
Just for anybody that like Trista, and it took a long time to just relax into trusting what I was called to do. Yeah. But I found when I go and I rest in those moments, or I get my vitamin D, then an influx of busyness happens. And so to allow yourself to play and be in the ebb and the flow is actually really important as an entrepreneur, especially the kind of entrepreneur we all are. So, but back to the video.
Yes, thank you for that piece of wisdom. Yes, yes, yes.
I cut mine into 5 minutes. Then I just
use the intro part, and it's on my website on the homepage. And
Cool.
it's not like, I'm sure I'll come up with another way to use it, but I just picked the piece that was most relevant to kind of what I want to put out into the world right now in this moment. And then I posted it, and it's there. And then people get to see me on stage when they go to my website, and I kept it super simple. And then I did like put it up on Vimeo and did the whole Facebook thing. But the way that my dad's girlfriend actually suggested for me to put it on my like home page, so that she's like, you want to manifest more opportunities to be on stage, so like put it out there. So that's kind of why it's there. It's more of an energetic piece.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. Yay. Thank you for that.
Welcome. And I just love everyone. I just have to say, like, just hearing everyone talk, and just like all the love in this group and this community, and I'm just so grateful to be with all you beautiful beings. Super grateful. And I love all of you.
I love you.
Love you all. Oh, thank you for that. I'm definitely feeling brimming over in love as well. It's always such a magical time. Is anybody else? Just want to make sure we get all the ideas about videos out there. I love how Arlie's in her bikini, and Dawn, you look like you have like 4 coats on. You look completely cozy. The difference of the West Coast versus the East Coast, right?
I'm on Cape Cod, and it is wet and very windy. And yes, I'm inside now, all snuggled up before I go to dinner in a little while. But yeah, I love being cozy.
Yeah.
I love the sunshine, almost naked too, but.
Well, it's so nice to see you. Yeah, looking all cozy. Oh, awesome. Very cool. Well, Heather, keep us updated on what ideas come to you, and we'll, because there's lots of places, video really is a format that, if people have a good video with good content, like there's people that are bloggers that put videos, there's all that, news stories that then have videos associated with it. Like, I feel like I'm getting videos from all sorts of different angles these days, right? So I wonder how we get on some of those. There's those, mindfulness everyday video, there's all sorts of things. So, look at where are you watching videos, and then see, hey, could I get my video on that? Or, and I think that's where the question of, do you leave the whole long thing because you just want to send it to your whole list and you want to give them that whole piece of you? Are you really trying to do it more promotional, like you're trying to get a speaking gig somewhere and you want to have it be quick and eye-catching in 2 minutes? There's a whole spectrum there. But so I'm looking forward to hearing what you come up with and what works. And it may be a couple different things, Yeah. Great question. Great to hear from you. Aww. Very cool. Well, is there anything else, you guys, before we say see you soon? We're going to be doing the module with Rika on Monday, so we'll get to do that, and then the advanced call is a week after that. Oh, and there's the top of Crystal's head. Hey, Crystal. Oh, she's outside too. Everybody. All right.
I just got off work. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oof. I've been working like 15-hour days, and I got to do it again on Sunday, I think. So happy I got to get off work and hear all these on this beautiful Friday. So I just wanted to pop on. I too would love to hear what people are doing with their videos, because I just watched both of mine the other night, and I'm going to share them for sure. I just don't know exactly. I'm not worried about it, but they're cool, and looking forward to that. So just gonna let it be, but I will definitely share it. But I just wanted to give you guys an update. I had my 3rd coaching session with my client, and it's been really it's getting easier, less nervousness, and I get really excited to jump And what I've been noticing as I'm preparing for them, because I'm doing, you know, that practical piece of like helping her with money and finances, and then we're doing like the shifting of the money. And for example, she just got a really big bill a couple days ago, like a nice big tax bill out of nowhere. Like when she got the bill to when we talked yesterday, Charity like had someone like offered to pay for her. And yeah, and then she got like an extra $1,500 for something else. So she's already starting to manifest money, and she's already starting to shift, which is amazing. How literally it's just been well. So just the other thing I wanted to point out is, as I'm preparing for our sessions, it's because I'm focused on, like, you know, real estate, right, and investing and passive income and money. I've been studying a lot and getting new books and getting new yummy stuff, and I've been it's funny because as I'm listening, I'm thinking like, telling myself like, this is for me, you know, it's not for my clients or for my business. So I found that to be interesting, rather, you know what I mean, like, yeah. So because as I've got my clients and will continue growing as like my personal finances, right, like my personal portfolio, which will allow me to be your client. So it's just been pretty freaking awesome. So that's why I wanted to pop on and say hi, Dawn. I was all bundled up this morning as well. Like full on everything, gloves, beanie, hat, hood, puppy jacket.
Welcome to fall.
Well, Crystal, thank you for that update. Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. Keep going. Keep letting us know how it's flowing and the things that you're learning. It's a beautiful process here and right now, and I love getting these updates. So thanks for hopping on and giving us an update. I think, Heather, did you have something to say to Crystal into the? Okay, something different. Okay, cool. Very cool. Oh,
like I think. But they, like last night, she said it just exceeded my expectations. So I'm just like, yay! It's really cool. And you just, you know, let it go. So that's all. Mwah! Love you all so
much. We love you, Crystal. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just want
to share a group energy doodle.
Oh, Jenny. Wow.
Oh, that's our group energy doodle.
Oh, Jenny, that's beautiful. I was going to suggest art therapy, but you already did it.
That's amazing. I'm just taking that in. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Look at us. We are so awesome. That's beautiful. Yeah. Wow, Jenny, way to translate the energy. Yeah. So Heather and Tanya, I don't know who wants to go first.
I just want to say something to Jenny.
Great. Go for it.
You could do little sessions where you could do a drawing for people too of their energy of what you're feeling. So
Totally.
then you do little things like that for them too. Just a suggestion.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Thanks for voicing that, Tonya, because it's like, you know, people love things that are personalized, like getting to see that energy that you created, you know, this like, here's our group energy, getting to see that beautiful representation of it. Like it's got an impact. And if you were to have a client and say, well, here's what I'm, you know, this is the energy that you are, your essences or whatever, people love that. I love stuff like that. I mean, that's just super fun. That's super fun.
I want to see it again, Jenny, but I can't.
Show us again.
I can't see it unless you're talking when you show it.
All right. Okay. Talking. Talking.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Jenny, post it on the Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. Will do. I will.
In our group.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I'll take a picture and send it.
Cool. Cool, Jenny. Awesome. Yay. Okay. Oh, Heather, you have your hand down. So did you want to chime in again? Okay, I wasn't sure the hand was going up and down. Okay, I just keep wanting to come back to you. Your beautiful smile. Okay, you guys, well, this has been incredible. I love you all. I'm so grateful that you've taken the time to be here with all of us today. And what an incredible little journey we've had together. And thank you so much. We will look forward to seeing you on Monday. Have a beautiful weekend. Thank you for everything you shared. You guys are just such a gift, and I'm grateful. So we will look forward to connecting again very soon. Thanks, everybody. Lots of love. Mwah. Bye, everyone.